Hello and welcome to my channel. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is indeed a voiceover, and it's because I went all impromptu and just put on my bike gear, fastened the camera to the helmet, and thought, right, I've been talking about doing this for a while, so we're just gonna do it. So first of all, if this is your first time here, I'm so happy to have you. Hope you like my particular brand of content. If you're visiting again, so great to see you. You honor me with your presence and your time. As you can see, I just showcased that camera that I fixed to the helmet. I will do another video to unbox and review, but of course you'll see firsthand the footage that comes from it. There was no sound because it's meant to be one of those sealed ones, so it seals everything including the mic. So if you're going to attach it to your helmet, it's like that. So you're going to join me on this sort of lunchtime cycle. We're going to try and just speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. I advise going like maybe full on for like 10 seconds at a time and rest for a few minutes. Good way to get that cycle. Alright, well, if I've done this correctly, we should have had some footage of my cycle. It's going to be like a kind of lunchtime cycle. I want to try and make that a kind of regular thing, at least 4 times a week. I'd advise have something light, like an hour before you're planning to go, and yeah, just go have a cycle around. I'm gonna try and make this one like maybe like a half hour, and then depending on what footage we get from this guy, I'll do like a kind of unboxing / review type of thing. It's not quite a GoPro. It's from Amazon. GoPro is like some 400 plus pounds. This is more like 50 plus sort of thing. And hopefully you get some decent footage and some decent weather. It's inside of its casing, so I think the sound is going to be a bit rubbish, so I might have to dub it over. But you do have an option of using it without the casing, but obviously to attach it to the helmet is tricky. So yeah, join me and let's see how we go. If you've got a stationary bike at home, jump on and follow along. So as you can imagine, trying to cross the road sometimes on a bike could be quite tricky, and once looking left, looking right, you just got to be comfortable that the traffic is going to clear for you, because otherwise the story could turn out a lot different. So that's what I was doing here, and then decided, you know what, on a real life day, if the road is just too busy or cars are coming flying out of a corner too quickly, we'll just wheel the bike up to the zebra crossing and start there, so there's no excuse. You don't want anything to happen to go, why didn't you just wait, mate? It really wasn't that urgent a situation. So this is where we're starting. All right. Part of going for a cycle, you know, you just kind of want to warm up the muscles, get them knees used to the rotation, and so you're not going too fast. You don't want to be too out of breath at this point. It's just a bit of a warm up for cycling. So you're just cruising along. I'd say if you take 0 to 10, where 10 is your exertion, max exertion, at this point you're starting out at like a 3 or a 4. So for me the road is slightly declining, so just cruising, getting used to the breeze on my skin, which was a really chilly breeze if I remember correctly. Just a shot of protective gear. Even in the daytime you want to be in the zone, so if you're accustomed putting on your colors and your helmets, it just becomes second nature whenever you cycle. now you should be getting up to a nice cruising altitude. Just getting in your zone. Body should just be feeling a bit comfortable. You can increase your speed, take it up to just a nice, if you're on a horse, I suppose you could do a simple gallop. You're just getting warmed up, feel like you're doing something. Getting that heart rate slightly up, getting them joints moving nice and warm. Them muscles should only be feeling a slight burn. You should just be only slightly out of breath at this point. But yeah, we're just enjoying our ride. We left our desk. We're getting our well-being on. That's what it's all about. Getting brain juices flowing again and ready for the afternoon ahead. So at this point, you can tell now the road is beginning to raise slightly, and so this is at the point now where you start to use a bit of power. So if you're again from 0 to 10, I think at this point you've hiked it up to a 6. So it's your first sort of real huff and puff. You should be a bit out of breath, but still able to go. You don't want to be going full out at this point. As you can see, it's a long, steady incline, but we're just gonna keep on going. You should feel a slight burn in your thighs. Remember, anytime you feel pain in your joints, your knees or elbows, I suppose you could have them, depending on what you're doing, you really should dial it way back. You should just only feel the burn in your muscles and not your joints. Apologies again for the camera hopping up and down. There's no shock absorption, stabilizer, or anything like that, but it keeps you real life positions, real life conditions, I should say. By now you can try and push yourself a little bit more, try and get up to that 8. Just I just keep the resistance as it is and just go a little faster, or hike up the resistance a bit. You want to get, say, a good 10 seconds of going all out so you're fully out of breath. You know, just going. If you can, if your bike is strong enough that you can stand up, yeah, you want to do that. Just keep on going, and as soon as you feel like you're really catching your breath, then you just slow it right down. So it's probably a good thing that because of the sealed casing, no sound is happening, because at this point you just heard me like it's just been a while, but it's good once you've accomplished it, and you know your heart rate comes back down. Then you just feel good for having done it. Just like any other workout, really, them endorphins are flowing and you're good to go. I wanted to make a note for road cyclists. One of the things that I guess people don't notice unless you're one is these grates in the ground. You can see them as we come. It could be a real sort of a mini hazard, because if they're facing the same direction as you're riding, you sort of feel like, gosh, your tires can get locked in. I think generally the standard is to have them across or you know, diagonally, so that's less chance of that happening, but it's still a mental journey. So you other guys doing this, just a reminder, don't try to avoid them. You have to either decide from very early. You're riding as far out in the road to avoid them, so you just keep going straight, or you take your chances and drive on them. But cars are not expecting you to be sort of swerving to avoid anything, because they're just an auto pilot. So if you haven't at this point, I'd say to really put that pedal to the metal now. It's a slight incline, but you should go all out. Remember, try and get that 10 seconds in. It's as high as you can get that heart rate. Obviously, I'm no doctor, I'm gonna keep telling you. Anytime you just feel like you're too uncomfortable, stop. Any pain in the joints. The video is gonna take a slight change now, so you should ease back down. You notice on the ground they have a kind of weirdness where it looks like they want cyclists both going and coming on one side and then pedestrians on the other side. I mean, they must have had some reason to do that, but generally I'm impressed with the council that they thought of these little I guess lanes in between properties. Obviously, if you're out of the city, especially those of you who live in London, you've got space to do this kind of thing. That's a good use of space. Good use of space. We can all share it. Nobody's expecting anyone to come blazing down the road here. So you just make it easy. Obviously, there's a road here. So left and right, safety all the time. I think this is a good time to remind you all, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so right now. You can ease up and look for the like button. If you're watching it on your big screen or on your TV, you can just use the channel up or down. It should show the options you have, and just navigate to where you see the little thumb. I think YouTube has changed with the subscribers. You actually have to like do a return, and then on the side you'll see it. So you can either do it now or wait till after. But having done that, now we got a nice clear road. Pedal to the metal again. Good hardcore 10 seconds. Blazing down the road. Don't worry about what's happening on screen. They'll get out of the way. Feel the wind in your hair. Obviously, if you're actually cycling, not while watching this, obviously. But you see dogs, yeah, just slow down, because sometimes dogs just think that you're trying to have fun or you're playing fetch. But you know, in a road like this, yeah, just expect anybody to come flying out the corner at any point in time. But for you at home, go crazy. Feel that sweat, huff and puff. And then bring it that down to middle. Just keep cruising. Just keep that heart rate going nicely. Nice medium. I think going around the 6 now. We're gonna approach the open plains of Braintree. As I was really just taking the camera out for a spin, I didn't have no set route, which I must have said already. Just thought, you know, just go out for a leisurely ride. So I never actually taken this little, it's kind of just a little small crescent. But you could tell that this place used to have been flooded out before, because there are lots of drainage systems. Or maybe when there's heavy rains, it does get that way. But it's just nice to see these little places. But generally, just cool being in the great outdoors, walking the little puppies, you know. And hey, it's the constant of made sure to have lots of bins around so it's all clean. And this is my spot where I was in one of my earlier videos, where me and Mr. Cater hung. That's his bench there. I'm imagining that he says I can call him Alex, but I think I'll stick to Mr. Cater for now. But as this was just unplanned, I thought, okay, let me just keep going, and I wasn't even sure if the camera was still recording at this time. So it was a pleasant surprise that it was. But of course, I'm heading back because I think at this point I realized that I actually have a meeting to go back to, so it's gonna have to be a quick turnaround. Normally they'd be go back to work, quick shower, get to the canteen, get some meat, eat at my desk. So I guess now you're home, you just figure out what's the end of the day. Anyways, let's concentrate on our ride. Let's enjoy it. We've been cruising downhill for a while. Now there'll be an incline just starting to happen. So again, whatever level you're at as in resistance level, just increase it slightly, and enjoy the scenery as we go. Reminder, if you're feeling at ease, it's always good to get yourself uncomfortable again. So because it's a short ride, you know, try and get as many of those top speed variations where you're, because I've kept the gear in a fairly difficult gear, so I'm actually working as I'm going, because I'm trying to just strengthen my Achilles tendons again. I don't think I mentioned in this video, but you know, after a bout of Achilles tendonitis, it's just a good way to get them calf muscles strong again, get those Achilles a little power in them. So I was avoiding going the high speed route, but either way it's good, either use some power or going the high speed, get a nice aerobics, but you know, still enjoy the cycle. And it's quite a good day to do it, because it was as cold as it looks, but so it wasn't like heavy winter. You can see people walk around with just some light jackets, but cool enough that you can get a good workout without overheating. I think at this point I was realizing I'm not really sure where I was, because I don't usually come this far, but I knew that I needed to get behind those houses you can see on the right or in front of them. On the left there's some walkways, and there's a bit here on this track that's sort of gravelly. Those of you inexperienced cyclists, it's kind of cool when you pull your brake and you can do like a little slide, but you may not realize that the bike is sliding sideways, and if you pull the brake too long, you will meet the ground with your bum. So careful as you go, enjoy the slide, but always better if you have an alternative ground to cycle on. Just do that. And yeah, I'm taking you around my neighborhood. Got to try and see if you can make these ones without getting off the bike. It's a temptation every road biker has. You know, you're in the zone, you're thinking, yeah, I can do it. Of course, by this time I was really feeling it now, because it's been a steady uphill the whole way, and we're not quite done yet. We're kind of approaching the home stretch, so try and stay with me. You did good. I think at this point we've probably been doing probably like a good 15 minutes of cycling. I think that's good. Once you've had a good breakfast, a few hours later you can come and do this. It's a good way to break up the day. Well, at this point in time, you can tell that I was a bit tired because I've been sort of looking down a lot, and the bike has sort of been going from side to side, and you really shouldn't be on the road with cars passing. If you're this tired, you should really just get up and walk the bike a bit, because this is all kind of uphill for a while, and generally I try to, or I will be trying to get back to the starting point, so I have a full cycle route, just in case Braintree Council approaches me for some, lunchtime rides. You never know, it could be a thing. But this one was just impromptu. Get out there, stretch your legs, get a little sweat, get that heart rate up and down. So I hope you've done that as well. So we're not quite going to get all the way back. Plus, I'm pretty sure my phone was alarming at this point because I did have that meeting that I had to go home and get ready for. So I pretty much have to do a U-turn and walk back to my house. Not quite ready to share that yet. But yeah, so I will be ending this video soon. So for you guys, if you are putting some pressure on, always good to ease it back down. Have a good couple of minutes of slowing down and resting the legs. And I will see you again soon. Alright, so I'm back home, safe and sound. I think it's always important to acknowledge that it's not always the case. It could go the other way, but it went this way. And that's the way you want it to go. So you want it to be this way. It doesn't always go this way. Sometimes it goes the other way. But today is this way. So acknowledge and give thanks. Those of you who went through the stages of watching The Wire will know exactly what that's about. Anyways, not much time. I shall go and have a quick shower. I just realized I didn't leave my lunch sign on, so I should go and do that because I can hear my notifications beeping at work. So we'll talk a bit about the Bajan idea of never coming in and then going straight in the shower, but that's all right. We'll kick off our sneakers downstairs first. Okay, so take care. I will try and finish off this after work and see what we get. Okay.